Can Christians wear a beard? The Bible does not forbid a Christian to wear a beard. Therefore, a Christian can wear a beard if he wants to. Still, it is important to consider some specific points in this matter. So in this video I'm going to address some questions that many have, demystify some inappropriate prejudices and arguments, and raise relevant points regarding the right to wear a beard. See the commentary in an issue of the Watchtower on this subject. I highlighted in red the highlights of the quote.
Open quotes. Would it be okay for a brother to wear a beard?
In some cultures, people have no problem with a man wearing a clean beard. This does not prevent people from heeding the kingdom message. In fact, in some lands there are elders and ministerial servants who wear beards. Even so, some brothers may choose not to.
In other countries, however, wearing a beard is not common and is therefore not considered appropriate for a sibling.
Incidentally, in those places, if a brother wore a beard, he might give a bad impression and might not be considered beyond reproach.
What this paragraph is saying is the following. If we live in a place where wearing a beard is part of the local culture and does not interfere with people's response to the message of the kingdom, then it is up to the Christian to decide whether to wear one or not.
According to this sentinel, who defines whether or not a Christian can wear a beard is not the opinion of the members of the congregation, but the local culture.
That's what this paragraph is saying.
So if you're thinking about wearing a beard, consider these points.
How would people in my territory react to someone with a beard? This issue is relevant because some residents in the territory may believe that Christians should not wear beards. In some Protestant churches, wearing a beard is frowned upon.
So if the people you preach to find it inappropriate for a religious minister to wear a beard, it is certainly better that you don't wear a beard so as not to negatively influence the person's reaction to the message of the kingdom. This principle is biblical.
Acostico Paulo wrote, I made myself a slave to everyone, to win as many people as possible. For the Jews, I became like a Jew, to win the Jews.
To those under law I became as under law,
to win those under law. Therefore, think carefully about how the people you are going to preach to would react to seeing a religious minister wearing a beard. You may wonder, is it common for well-reputed people, such as doctors, teachers, dentists, civil servants, to wear a beard? Do religious ministers, who are respected by people in the preaching territory, wear a beard?
If your answer to these questions is no, then wearing a beard could make people look bad and damage the kingdom message.
In that case, the Christian would not be blameless. Let's look at another question. Where I live, it is common for many men to wear a beard, but the brothers in the congregation find it strange. What should I do?
Following the Watchtower guidance quoted above, what determines whether it is appropriate to wear a beard is the culture of the country, not the opinion of the members of the congregation. If good people have a good reputation and even religious people wear a beard in your area, then it's up to you to decide whether or not you can wear a beard. Let's look at the next question. Should I respect the conscience of brothers who think it is inappropriate to wear a beard? As already mentioned, it is not the brothers who determine whether it is wise or not to wear a beard, but it is the culture of the country where you live and whether this would negatively influence your ministry.
A few decades ago, at least in Brazil, the use of a beard was related to revolutionary leftist movements.
Obviously, the Christian didn't want anyone to dance, that he was involved with revolutionary political movements, that in today's society the relationship between beard and political ideology has completely disappeared. You may not wear a beard in order to avoid conflict with your siblings, just as siblings may respect your right to wear a beard in order to avoid conflict with you, but no sibling has the right to tell you that you shouldn't wear a beard simply because he doesn't like it. That would be sheer selfishness on the part of a brother to demand that you shave your mustache, change your tie color, and the like simply because he is offended by it. In that case, it is the offended party who has a problem to resolve, not the brother who wears a beard.
If it is valid to claim that you have to shave your beard because some brother thinks it inappropriate, it is equally valid for the offended brother to keep his opinion silent in order not to offend those who wear a beard. For if brother A must respect the brother's conscience B, why shouldn't brother B respect the conscience of the brother who has a beard?
Respect for opinions cannot be one-sided, so you must respect the conscience of someone who wants to wear a beard. Another question. What if wearing a beard causes a brother to stumble? I personally think this is the most mediocre thinking on this issue.
Who would stop serving Jehovah because a brother has a beard?
For example, imagine that I come up to a brother and say, if you don't shave your mustache, I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness, or one sister says to another, if you keep wearing red lipstick, I'm not your sister in the faith anymore.
These attitudes are the perfect exemplification of mediocrity.
Christians are not mediocre, selfish people. Therefore, giving one's own spirituality an ultimatum because of the beard is an attitude that does not belong to true Christians.
Someone who would stop serving Jehovah because of the beard is someone who has never served Jehovah.
Next question. The elders in my congregation say I am not eligible for privileges because I have a beard.
What to do?
Ask yourself the questions already asked in this video. If in your locality it is not inappropriate to have a beard, then the elders should not impose their opinion on you.
One issue of the Watchtower commented, quote, in the congregation we should be careful not to impose our personal views or tastes on others. An elder should avoid forcing scripture to make them appear to support an idea they have a strong opinion about.
See Matthew 4, 5 and 6, there must always be a genuine biblical reason for any advice they offer.
Psalm 119, 105, unquote.
Elders should keep in mind the text of 2 Corinthians 1, 24 which says, we are not masters of your faith. Said it is inappropriate for an elder to try to impose his personal preferences on a brother.
Another question, what if someone says that wearing a beard is sloppy with my personal appearance? Again, ask yourself the questions proposed in this video.
In Brazil, what is considered careless with one's appearance can change from region to region.
There are issues related to personal appearance that should concern brothers more than the use of a beard.
These are some questions I thought I'd address and I hope I helped you.
A big hug.